ball. Not just yet, though. Monty bans against Cyclops are something that is go together like two good things that go together. Lots of teams will ban Monty against CAG. Could be a Ying here. They have gone for the Blitz ban sometimes, but Ying's been their most banned operator throughout this tournament and throughout the stage as well. CAG have banned a couple of shields, but typically they like to play those shields instead. We've not ever seen them play on this map, so who knows what we could see for a ban here. Could be a Fenrir, could be a Val, could be a Kaid. It'll be the Kaid, there we go. Last one should be a zombie coming out from the CL4L unless they want to toss something interesting into the mix. But otherwise, I think these are very predictable operator bans from both sides. I think that might be what you want as well if you're CAG playing a map for the very first time. You want to keep things kind of standard, you know. You've already got the element of surprise. You're already going to be catching your opponent off guard because they've got nothing to VOD review, right? So if you can come into it and then say, okay, all of a sudden, we're also changing up their operator bans. If that catches you off guard, maybe that takes away your advantage to some extent. But not going to happen. In this game, CAG will be playing with all the standard bans as we get into our very first round. And of course, Anderson's jumping on the blitz. Why wouldn't he be?
All the players yelling, getting into the mood, getting into the groove, and now we will get underway. Very quiet. This is how quiet it is.
We talked yesterday about the ambiance of the siege sometimes.
Sometimes it's quite nice, isn't it?
It is. Shotguns roaring through.
The pitter-patter of the footsteps on the wood. Fine interior here at Deimos' Lair, where money is no option.
It's a shame they're destroying it, really.
Yeah.
Ripping up the floorboards.
Think about all the work that gets done to build these beautiful places, and then...
Honestly, we don't talk about them much. Shout out to the team that rebuilds the map after every round.
They're very fast.
They're very fast. They put a ton of work. They never get credit for their job. It's about 50 engineers and workers that get that done in the prep phase, or in the operator select phase every 15 seconds.
It takes Major League Baseball more time to just clean the bases than it does to completely remodel the interior of these maps. It's an impressive thing, I gotta say.
We might be the stupidest casters, you and I, Parker.
Have you heard Stokes?
Okay, fair. All right.
I love Sam.
Me too. We got the Blitz play coming out once again, looking to be going into operations, meaning that Anatson on the Legion would be the first one that they come into contact with. The drone of Anatson will start to find that out. A lot of the pressure from CL4L have been placed over towards our 6 rooms. There's not that much utility here. There's no mirror windows looking to operations. There's obviously a zombie is banned out, so there's no Kiba set up. Instead, just a single reinforcement met with a open angle that immediately gets opened by the ace. So a lot of ground being taken for free. They've got the IQ down below as well to help stop some of these bandits from stopping the wall from being opened. We've got the ace of Black Ray will be opening up that outer wall right now. Greatly done. The utility work has gone by very quickly from CAG. In just 90 seconds, they've gotten, I would say, all the map control they really need. They just got to open this next wall and they'll be flying.
It was very quickly that Sharif got in the building. He was droned in very successfully. Now Uzi over by display. Sitting on top of a mute jammer within arm's reach of the bomb sites. Not actually sitting on it itself. Smokes will go into Deimos' office itself, and there's Uzi with the very first pick. Shuri finishes him off shortly thereafter. The blitz of Anatson reduced to smithereens. Probably the worst way to be reduced, if I'm being honest. Black Ray and Shuri blast to remaining. Black Ray dropped by Bino, and now it's Shuri swinging over towards Packer, doing some serious damage. 2 kills so far for the sensation that we saw play yesterday. Not enough for Giddy to deal with, sitting behind the table in a very impressive angle. CL4L takes map number 1.
Big C4 from Packer. He only got 1 kill in that round. He did get traded shortly after, but he got the most important kill. He C4'd the Blitz to really stop that push in its tracks. That was expertly done. And CAG, I liked the push that they had. You know, they kind of faked they were going to go for a mask plant. They smoked it off. They opened the wall. They had everything to plant just inside a mask. But then they put Diffuse Kit on the Blitz and just sprinted through the bathroom hallway right into server, where they met Packer, and he put that plan to an end. Obviously, some good plays coming out from Bino as well, picking up a couple of kills. The rest of the members of CL4L all contributing to that round. But for me, it was Packer with that most important pickup onto the Blitz. You know you're going to be coming up against it, right? You're playing against CAG. You know that they're going to be running Blitz on the majority of these rounds. Anaton is famous for his shield play, and while I've talked about the fact that he's actually been moving away from Monty in the vast majority of rounds this stage, he actually hasn't played much Monty at all. Blitz is a different story. He's been running a ton of Blitz throughout both Stage 2 of the Regional League and now here at the Major. It's not a surprise to see him back on the Operator, so it's good to see early on in this matchup that CL4L have the answers.
I think early confidence is good here for this team. It's always very peculiar when a team does not play a map and then brings it out in international competition, but I mean, usually you want to save it for the later rounds when you'll find the most value out of it. 16th time's a charm there for Giddy. CAG don't really have any choice, by the way. They have to play Lair now. If they are a really good team at it who's been sitting on it for a while, it's do or die. If they opt not to play Lair, they could be on a flight back home in the next 24 hours, meaning their next opportunity to play Lair would have to come at SI.
It's very true. I also find that oftentimes in these like weaker regions, right? Like Japan is like, the top teams in Japan are good. Like Scars is a great team, CAG are a good team, but the deeper you go, you kind of run out of those like top level squads. And so a lot of times teams from Japan and other smaller regions don't look like they have a wide map pool, but that's just because the other teams in the region consistently ban the same maps over and over and over again. And even if Scars or Cyclops want to play a map like Lair, if every one of your opponents is consistently banning it because they just don't play the newer maps, then you're not going to get that opportunity to show it off. So I don't think the fact that they haven't played it previously immediately says that CAG are a bad Lair team, and certainly they don't think they are with this pick. As we saw from our first series of the day, or at least during my first series of the day, there was a series earlier casted by Ace and Des.
Who are currently casting on the B stream right now.
Indeed they are. This is a very defender-sided map, and so we expect CL4L to go up to a bit of an advantage. The game plan from CAG right now is going to be to plant without taking the full top control. They're going right on in.
Off to the races! Shuri with Diffuser on Thermite. Bit of an odd position for him to be in. Anaton, the first kill, traded out immediately. Diffuser going down successfully, and CL4L will now scramble in the post plant. Chibisu waiting for the drop. He can hear the herd of elephants from above. Are they expecting somebody to be beneath? Will they double swing it by any chance? No. They'll let them go by. Chibisu a little bit slow. How do you miss that engagement? Uzi prevails in that fight. All the while, CL4L are wasting time, though. You got to get to that diffuser. The gunfire will go out. Uzi looking to the right, but the player to the left, almost at the point of no return. CAG cleaning up, and now it's Adam to sit on the diffuser. Finished from above, Black Ray holding court, the timer, too far gone, and CAG will answer back with a round of their own.
Good post plant from CAG. This is something that CL4L have struggled with. Yesterday against Black Dragons, they allowed plants in quite a few rounds coming through there. Sorry, CAG are typically the ones allowing a lot of plants, 30 or 47% of rounds they played yesterday. Maybe bring some of that against their opponents. They do plant quite a bit as well. They planted in 38% of their rounds against G2. That's another one added to the tally. For CL4L, you should be able to deny that from above, but just didn't quite have the angles. I love the chaos that CAG were bringing that round. They pushed early. They opened all the walls kind of at the same time. They tossed in a couple of smokes. They ran in with the blitz. They made it very chaotic. And in theory, yes, you can deny that plant from up above, but you've got to be able to find that denial within 7 seconds at the same time that there's going to be pressure on you from other players of the team up above. It's a job that is much easier said than done. And so CAG just taking advantage of that fact, get the plant down, and the post plant's a little scary, but they were always in the better position to win that.
Action time. Adam running the Tubarão and looking for a spawn peak early on. There is a silhouette close by, so it could work out, but Nope. He'll hide his tracks and head out of there, threw weapon into armory.
Cyrenaco's already downed. I'm not sure. Was that a pick?
I believe it might have been Uzi.
It probably was. With the Boss G, you can get crazy long angle shots with that thing. It downs from almost any range. I think it's like 25 meters it'll down from. I could be wrong on that, but it's a ridiculous range that thing one-shot downs from. Can't get the finish off, but still, I mean, 80 damage, 90 damage off of Cyrenaco will be exceptional. Still hunting around for more. It's not as good of a gun for shooting drones, admittedly. But this is an interesting hold from CL4L. They're really dedicated to holding on to Armory. This is something that they've done a few times now. Obviously, they've played this map quite a bit, 5 times. Something that has been somewhat popular in North America. I've never seen this exact like shield setup that they had going on. The answer to it from CAG will be to run up the yellow stairs on the Blitz. Here's the setup. It's shown now, played by Adam. Upstairs, they've got the hatches open. The one nice thing about this is if they do try to plant inside of office on the side of CAG, you can deny it absolutely from up above if you continue to hold on to Armory, but that's obviously much easier said than done. Anderson deciding better of that, I guess.
How many times today we see the shield start to just tear ass in one direction and then oopsies, and then just go the other way? Sorry, you can't say ass on broadcast. Oh. Yes, I apologize. Shuri now goes for the drop, enabled by those depth marks, enabled by the sounds of the logic bomb. Tearing through one player, another will drop now at the hands of Anaton as Giddy dies. Packer and Uzi, last 2 left, both hitting the deck. Squaring up next to the doorways, expecting the next wave of CAG players to barge on in. That's Diffuser in Anaton's hands, going down, stopped by the gas. Uzi creeping up, Cyrenaco dies, and now Black Ray looking for more on the ground, finishing off Packer. It's Uzi to clutch out. Oh, and he gets it before Black Ray seals the deal on the round. CAG, 2 in a row.
Nice.
Was very close for Uzi. Almost had that clutch coming on out, but not quite. The numbers advantage never really favored them. I love the way that they started that round. Credit to Black Ray for ending it successfully. But the early round execute from Shuri to get control of Armory was fantastic. It'll actually prompt a tactical timeout from CL4L.
Play a shotgun, and then in the next round, play a trap up and play with Adam on Armory, you know? Play double up on base for basement, double up with Adam. And then now just play a shotgun, and you don't need to play the hall, you know? Just give it up. They're gonna do a Pebbles play this round from Esther, you know? And then for side, for bunks, they're gonna do a top take now. Because
you want mute?
It's a blatant top take, so you just play the fight. You play for the fight for bunks.
Some very direct instructions from Bodega. Oftentimes you'll see attack timeout and the advice from the coach will be somewhat vague, it'll be somewhat general, right? This is going wrong, we gotta do more of this. This was attack timeout where Bodega says you're gonna play this position with this operator on this role. You're gonna be doing this round, this round.
Rotate anyone. We're good, brother.
Some questions, some follow-up questions as well. Uzi asking, should I play Boss G? He's playing Warden Shotgun this time around, not Vigil, so the Boss G not available. This is the top floor hold they're going to be running. I couldn't hear everything that Bodega was instructing, so I'm interested to see exactly what this setup will be. But clearly some very specific instructions. When they're only down 2-1, they must really feel that this is a map they have to win the defenses on, and the fact they're down 2-1 already scares them.
Yeah, very early for them to be calling that, especially on CAG's map. You'd think, okay, maybe we'll settle in, but we just watched how defender-sided this map was in the matchup that came before between G2 and Black Dragons. So CL4L letting CAG walk all over them. While being walked on is something that some people might enjoy, for CL4L, they probably don't appreciate it. So in this sense, call a timeout, settle things down, and again, the big pain point for CL4L yesterday was the mental. It was picked up on social media, it was picked up on by other players about how quickly their mental deteriorated. I mean, it's their first time playing at an international event. They're not used to Tier 1 competition. There's gonna be some growing pains.
For sure.
The hope is that you continue to grow.
A lot of pressure on Adam in that, or sorry, on Packer in that role as well. Captain the team, IGL. He's been very vocal from this squad. We've gotten to listen into a lot of what he's had to say to his teammates, which has been very insightful. This round for CAG will start much like the last. They get the outer wall opened up. Now they can decide kind of what they want to do with the rest of this push. Traditional wisdom would say go take operations, go plant inside the mask wall. That's exactly what they did last time, but they pivoted from an operations-looking push into just running in with the blitz through the bathroom hall to pick up a couple of picks. They don't have the blitz this time, so the game plan must be somewhat different. Shirip down below playing on that Deimos, trying to hunt for some picks. He first scans Adam. Not sure if Adam, he will jump on a mute jammer, so nothing going to be coming from that. The rest of these players, though, still around the site. We've seen CAG stall out to an extent. I'm not 100% sure what they want to be doing with this push. I think it will be operations, but they've got players outside of bathroom, as you're seeing from Chibisu. They've got players in around mezzanine, which you saw from Shirip earlier. And they'll get a kill around mezzanine as well as Packer goes down.
Wow, they are just getting picked apart right now by CAG. We still got those death marks that can remain for the last 3 players, but thank goodness there are mute jammers here. Intel is the name of the game so far through these 3 rounds, so mute is a must for CL4L. Packer also just seems to like that kit. He likes a shotgun and a secondary SMG as his main go-to, so why not? In contention for what might be one of the cleanest shots that we have seen so far at this entire event. Shirip turns Uzi inside out. Another round from CAG. That's going to be the shot that people talk about, but it was a very clean round from CAG. They win that one flawlessly, and their lead continues to grow.
You didn't catch it, but Uzi put an NS in chat. Rightfully deserved.
You played Castle, but Legion's fine. Legion's fine. Stick Legion. Yo, listen. Not even that, bro. We just got. I'm not even kidding. We gotta call rotations.
All right, some words being given by Packer at the end of that round. I'm sure they'll find out their game plan. Really, that was a round that came down to, I mean, some big plays from Shirip. We saw a lot of that just yesterday. He had more kills in map 1 yesterday than any APAC player at a major since Yas dropped 22 against SSG in Yavla in 2021. It has been 3 years since an APAC player has dropped that many kills in a single map at a major. So breaking records on the side of Shirip, having some massive impact, but even with the Deimos pistol, I mean, that thing is so good. It hits like a truck, and if you're hitting headshots, of course, it's always going to be a one-shot kill. So it's been beautifully done by him. They need him to continue to perform if CAG want to make it to phase 2.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, CAG is walking CL4L like, I think their logo's a dog.
It is. It's a dog with a chew toy in its mouth.
I was going to say, that's what it appeared like, and it's CL4L getting walked like a dog so far through these 4 rounds. But I wanted to argue against myself, but I don't really find many compelling ways to give hope to CL4L at this moment. CAG are dominant, they're playing their game, and they're on the worst side of Lair.
They're on their opponent's map pick. I would say that is the main angle of hope. Obviously, that's not going to be super inspiring until we get to that second map. That's some also not quite as good Deimos shots coming up Shirip. It's okay, they can't all be winners. Trying to get that vertical destruction down from below. Just trying to track onto that, the player up above, deal some damage to the Clash maybe as well, but just couldn't quite find the angles. Dealt about, Adam's taking a bit of damage here in the midst of this, but hasn't managed to result in a kill, so they'll back off a little bit. Still playing down below. We're on the exact same site that we were just on. Are we going to be seeing the same push from CAG? They're running the blitz back, which makes me think it could be a repeat of round 1's push, but the positioning is completely different. They're all up towards storage, and we're seeing a 3rd iteration of this push.
There's the shield to engage, and Bino realizes there's not much to be had there as he falls off of his position. The shield recharges, and Anaton has found a considerable opening with plenty of map control to spare now. Lots of time. We actually lost the sound there. I was like, what? That is the quietest shield I've ever heard. Shirip with 7 kills through 4 rounds, 5 active rounds at this point.
That was such a weird entry. They ran in with the blitz, they killed the smoke, and then they left. They said, never mind. We're going to push somewhere else. And they've got the time to do that. They've got the time to reposition. So like, okay, now they're going to go over to display with the blitz. Diffuse kit's actually outside the outer wall, so it's a multi-dimensional push to come on in.
Anaton suffering through an awful lot at this point, yet still going on, still going forward. Shoe Reap there, once again with the Deimos sidearm to do some serious damage. It felt like half of CAG. There's goo mines in their feet, and they will just run over CL4L. Timeout is called, and since then, CL4L is gone. Well, not much better. CAG in firm control, marching their way towards a 5-1 half.
I really don't envy Packer, because every round he's trying to call adaptations for his team. They're trying to strategize, but every round CAG are doing something different. Even if the bomb site is the same, they've got a new plan every single time, and that's not something you expect to see from a team who are inexperienced on a map. Cyclops Osaka have never played this map, ever, other than in scrims. And yet their strat book seems to be far deeper than anything CL4L are ready for. They were just saving it for a very important game, and with elimination on the line, it doesn't get much more important than this. CAG, I love the way they're running around with the blitz, the multiple different rooms they're willing to push from. They'll bait one area of the map that they're pushing, and they'll go somewhere else. They're playing all these mind games with CL4L, and then of course the gunfights are coming out strong as well. On the side of CL4L, not a single player is positive, only Uzi is negative, or sorry, is even. They're in a really tough spot at this point. This is a defender-sided map. We saw in our last game, G2 versus Black Dragons, both of those teams won 5 defensive rounds, and that went overtime. So the fact that we could be seeing 5 attacking rounds from CAG is less than ideal.
Heck of a time for CAG to pull out a map that they had no experience on, quote unquote. No experience at a tier 1 level, of course, because...
Or any level.
Well, I mean, teams scrim it. My point was that you're going to be scrimming it and playing it. This isn't the first time that CAG have ever played this map. Could you imagine? Packer gets the first kill. I don't know what Shoe Reap was trying to do. Probably just getting in very quickly, but a swift death at the hands of the smoke of Packer puts CAG in an unfavorable position and actually situates CL4L quite well for the remainder of this first half.
You'd be forgiven for forgetting that the bomb site is in the basement. Packer on the very top floor finds that opening pick on Smoke. Don't forget, if he dies, that's a very important operator to take it off the board, but clearly he wants to use that delay early in the round rather than late. It'd be a tough site sometimes to rotate back to. It's the same kind of setup that they had previously with the shield inside of Armory. I said I liked it the last time I saw it. Shiraneko, I think it was, or maybe it was Shoe Reap, walked in and just took it for himself, so it didn't actually succeed for CL4L. But again, this is kind of showing the difference in strategy. Still, CAG runs something different every single round. CL4L, they're bringing out the exact same strat that they ran the last time they were here. Not saying that's even a bad thing necessarily if it's the best strat you've got, but it is a difference in playstyle, and it might give that edge to CAG. Dokkaebi call running out now. Can they get anything off of this?
Lots of sounds being made as the logic bombs go off. The blitz off to the races. Anaton absorbing a lot of damage. 1 kill onto Uzi. It's Packer with a second. He's got all the kills so far in this round for CL4L. GB2 looking for something. Adam will take 1 away from Packer. And CL4L are situated very well at this point. All up to the Deimos and the Dokkaebi. 3 death marks and 1 logic bomb for CAG though, so at very minimum, they will still have plenty at their disposal to track down these remaining players. Shiraneko going for the nade to possibly dislodge. Adam on the ground. Goodbye, Shiraneko. Under the ground. Black Ray is the last one standing, and Giddy vaporizes him. Motivating 6th and final round this first half, giving some life to CL4L.
I promise you, we're not going to see anything special on their defenses. I promise you.
Not expecting anything special in their defenses.
Nothing.
He promised it. Very confident up against a team that they've never seen play this map before. Maybe they've scrimmed each other, to be fair. It's possible.
Very confident for a team that has never played this map before.
Well, they've never seen CAG.
I mean, maybe he's from the future.
Maybe.
Maybe he's a time traveler.
That would be I imagine a competitive advantage, and we'd probably have to disqualify him for that.
No, I don't think so.
Well, in that previous round, it felt like CAG just got a little sloppy with it. I mean, immediately dying with their ram, didn't seem to have Packer droned out. You're walking into a shotgun at the top stairs on the top floor. That's never going to be a favorable gunfight. They followed that up with an okay clear of Armory, but they lost so many bodies getting that map control that eventually they just did not have the numbers in the 1v4 watched execute that they had. So now there's some life. I mean, a 5-1 feels like it's over, especially moving on to the attacking side for CL4L. But a 4-2 is not the end of the world, okay? Is it great? Certainly not. But it does still have potential. And CL4L, they're not afraid to pull out the same old tricks that CAG were taking advantage of. They put Packer straight onto the blitz, Uzi on the Finka. You've got a couple of operators that can get in and have some aggression in this round. Don't know if it'll be a direct rush play. This is a hard site to rush because there's so many little corners that the defenders can be hiding in. And they usually have quite a bit of good plant denial too that you can't really sneak past. But regardless, when the XU comes out, it's going to be very explosive. They've got a couple players over by operations at the moment, a couple players that are down kind of by the mezzanine stairs. You see their silhouettes in the bottom left. This is really going to be a focus of clearing out Anaton first, deal with that clash, maybe with the Capitao, maybe with some other options, and then moving on past that towards the mask wall. They are rotating a couple of players over towards, well, they're not sure.
Almost no soft destruction being brought from CL4L either. I think that's worth noting. They're going to go after gadgetry. The ace will be the main one blowing things up. In particular, those mirror windows. So take care of the mute jammers, get them off of the mirror windows, assuming that there is a mute jammer behind them, and then you have the ace to take care of it because it's really all you got. I guess you got the grenades of Finka, but I have to imagine those will be used for either deployable shields or pushing CAG off of their very comfortable spots. Adrenal Surge as Blitz rushes on in. Packer taking a bunch of damage, fire in front of him. He was also disoriented from the yokai that was over top of the stairs. Down goes Giddy to Black Ray. That's the very first pick of the round, and as the fire dissipates, Packer in hot pursuit of these CAG players. A battle of the shields now will unfold should Packer go the direction he was hoping for as the clash stands in the way. Anaton will look to buy time. Exposed on the sides, but impervious to those bullets front on. No grenades remain from Uzi, so that deployable shield far back at the end of the hallway will remain in place for the foreseeable future and allow Shiraniko relative safety to play off of it.
Kind of awkward, but here comes the second of the adrenal surges from Uzi. Just trying to heal up. They're not pushing off of this one necessarily. They do have players that are kind of around the bathroom hallway. They might want to jump Packer in. There's the first smoke. They got to get going because there's not much time left. The C4 gets pushed over anyways.
Packer and Adam with 2 kills. The shield is all in. Black Ray and Anaton, the last 2 remain. The clash now having to put the shield away and engage with a sidearm. Good enough to deal with it against Bino, but not enough against the shield that chased them down. Strong round from CL4L, and might we be seeing an attacker-sided Lair?
I gotta say, it was a good push from CL4L. The idea was really strong. They had a player inside of operations, they had 2 players coming up mezzanine, and then they had 2 players that were playing around kind of bathroom and display. It got a little risky because the Capitao Firebolts didn't seem to do their job. Shiraneko, I'm not sure if he was wearing fireproof boots or what he had on, but he just was not burning to death as those Capitao Firebolts just barely were missing him. So he didn't get forced out of there until very, very late in the round. But what CL4L did, they always did it together, right? It was very in sync, very coordinated. I think that can be a little bit easier sometimes when you're rocking operators like the Finka, which give a very obvious boost. Here we go. When you're rocking operators like the Blitz, that kind of make that space and allow players to follow them up very, very conveniently. But they still did it expertly, and I think CL4L deserve a lot of credit for that. Right towards the end of it, Adam got a huge flurry of kills playing on that Twitch DMR. Adam, one of those players that has been in Tier 1, one of the few players with Tier 1 experience on CL4L. Played on Wildcard shortly and then on Sonics for a little bit as well. A lot of people were surprised that Adam did not get picked up for Tier 1 coming into Stage 2. After the LCQ performance that we've seen, where Adam destroyed many of the teams that did not pick him up, and now if they can have some success here at the Major, you got to imagine Adam won't be out of Tier 1 for very long.
No, I'm going to say something right now that I don't usually say all that often.
Okay.
I saw a good comment on Reddit. And basically they said that you can tell that Adam has proper bona fide Tier 1 experience based off of how he kept his composure in the matchup yesterday.
Yes.
And I very much agree with that. the longer that you play at the top, the more that you are in these high-risk, exhausting situations, usually the better you will be at dealing with them. Now, that's not always to say that it will happen. Lots of players get given tons of opportunities and continue to choke it, and then they don't end up finding success because they're just not built for it. But it was abundantly clear yesterday in the matchup with Adam that he's been there before, and he was acting like it.
The opening pick for CL4L, that could be them rolling with momentum now. Sharif did end up going down on the Goyo, meaning that this top floor is like really being given up for free. CAG wanted to go for a full anchor strategy inside the basement. CL4L seemed to have read into that. The Jackal obviously makes it very clear when there are roamers and when there are not. If you see no footprints, there's nobody around. So that's a really good indication that will help speed things up on this early round after killing Sharif. Still 4 players left to find, and the question is, do they get aggressive to try to equalize the man count? I'm gonna guess no here, just based on op lineup, right? You've got Zoto canisters, Toxic Baits, a Clash, Dread Mines, Goyo canisters. You've got really an entire site that's meant to stall things out. I think right now CAG are happy to let CL4L waste their own time. They lose another one to Uzi, and then eventually go for a stall tactic. Even if you're going to deny the plant, though, if you're in a big enough man disadvantage, that's not really going to be possible. CL4L can flood this site, so we're going to need to see some kills coming back from CAG pretty soon here. Less than a minute left on the round.
It's a big map. It's a new map for a lot of teams still with very limited plays. Time is going to be a huge problem just based on its size alone. This was something that we saw with maps like Villa way back when. Teams would run out of time because it is a bigger map. Theme Park was another culprit where it's just a very large map. It takes a lot of time to roam clear it. Down goes Black Ray because Adam still has control above, and CAG are just waiting to die, it would appear at this point. A nice flick from Aniton. Shield goes out, but he's the last one standing. Yet again, it's a clash as the final hope. But CAG in that round had lost all hope. Another round for CL4L on the board, and we have a tie game.
Dude, where were these attacks yesterday? I genuinely feel like the attacks from CL4L yesterday were very poor. They had the lowest attacking win rate of any team. And now we've seen 2 rounds from them on attack, and they've been very good. Very together. They've clearly had game plans.
I mean, I don't know. The clashes are working. I'm just rotating.
We've got a attack timeout from CAG.
Guys, yo, play off the drones and pick a one. Play off the drones and pick a one. Play like that. Uzi, pick 2 kills this round. Literally just by doing that. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So, pick a drone and pick a kill. Uzi literally just pick a one with his drone and kill 2 on this round, you know? Literally just do that. Keep playing the game, and the gaps go appear, you know? Keep collective, keep calm, guys.
And the success from their attacks doesn't seem to be from some complicated game plan. Hudega's telling them to drone and get picks off their drones. That's about as basic as it gets, but they're accomplishing it so well, they're executing it so perfectly, that it is resulting in, so far, 2 flawless pushes on the side of CL4L.
Just let Bino do it, because he does it on the other side. Okay?
And Bino is going to be allowed to do something in this next round. What that is, not sure. He's got the defuse kit. Maybe he was talking about planting. Maybe
We don't know what it is, but he'll be able to do it.
He's going to do something.
Oh, he's going to do it.
The team is going to let Bino do it.
Let Bino be Bino, you know?
Let Bino live.
Let Bino live. So, either way, CL4L are a newly rejuvenated team, and they had some very big issues on defense early on. And CAG are an explosive team. They're an unpredictable team. But CAG have also had struggles on attack. The fact that they were able to run up the score on attack is great for their squad, but now I actually like CL4L's chances with the way that this map has shaped out.
I agree 100%. I mean, you are right. CL4L 21% on their attack yesterday. Cyclops 38. Not that much better. Still below what you would typically want to see from top-level teams, at least when the competition is relatively even. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to see some better stuff out of both these teams on the attack throughout the series, but I'm absolutely worried for CAG at this point. We didn't get to really hear or at least understand what their coach was trying to talk to them about, but this is their opportunity to find a little bit of an answer to what CL4L have been going after. If CL4L are going for more kind of drone somebody out and immediately find them, maybe that's going to encourage CAG to play more in duos. Maybe they'll get a little bit more aggressive, try to beat out those drones and find picks before they get droned out. They've played relatively passive, I would say, the last couple of defenses. They haven't been going for early aggression. They haven't been roaming very much at all. In fact, I don't think they have been roaming at all. One early death from Shoe Reap is all we've really seen. And a minute into this round, there's not that much early aggression either, but here's perhaps a swing.
Uzi was waiting for them, but when you hear the sound of the LMG, do you want to take that engagement? That is the question. That's Chibisu, who's sitting at a single kill. Shiraniko also at 2 kills. Neither of these players tend to be performing this badly for CAG. Shiraniko in particular actually started to pick it up after Shoe Reap dropped off in yesterday's matchup.
Big pick from Adam to start things off. Chibisu's success will not come in this round, if it is to come at all. The Bees are making it very chaotic, but they're all together once again on CL4L. This is the consistent theme. They are full clearing through the top floor. Bino finds Shoe Reap as well as they keep on pushing through. Maybe that's what he had to do, kill Shoe Reap. Regardless, it does get done. And he's going to be offered another free pick. Just swing his own shield.
Okay.
Black Ray, I get it. They're desperate on the side of CAG. They realize that if they just sit in sight in a 3v5 with 60 seconds, they're going to lose. But that is not the swing that you wanted to go for. If you're Black Ray, obviously you're going to favor Bino in that one. Now we've left just Shiraneko and Anaton left alive in the 2v5. Packer was downed for a moment. I'm not sure exactly what by, but he did get picked up. Might have been a Nitro, actually. But he's picked up now, safe and sound. 30 seconds. They're going to open up these floorboards. They could drop the hatch or walk down the green stairs. But regardless, they're going to have a very dominating push with a massive man advantage.
CL4L won round number 1. That's the only lead they've had so far in this map. It's CAG's map, and we're 15 seconds away from them regaining it. But hold on, maybe Anaton and Shiraniko have something to say about that. Numbers not equalized, but close to. Diffuser in the hands of Adam. He has to plant. Anaton shutting him down. C4 just way too slow. Sloppiness when you had everything going for you. What the hell happened at the tail end of that round?
Boy, that's a 2v5. You really don't want to be losing if you're CL4L.
We didn't make Vert above Bunk Seaweed.
That is not a good one, Jesse.
I mean, they didn't make Vert. They had no time to make Vert. I mean, they spent a lot of time up top and just didn't have anything.
I'm kind of dumbfounded at that one.
Generally, the game plan with that bomb site is you want a full clear top floor if that's what you want to do, and that's clearly what the plan was. So they wanted a full clear top floor, use the Vert, and then either plant by dropping in the hatch, or maybe you've got your planter outside the breach, or maybe you're going to run down the green stairs. You've got a lot of paths to the bomb site. But they stalled for so long. I think they just forgot about the clock. I think it kind of got away from them. In the 5v3, you don't have to overthink your push. You group up, you push 2 against 1, you get your trades, you win every time. Even some of the best players in the world are going to struggle to shoot 3-4 players at once if you're all walking at the same guy. If you're together, that should be a situation that you cannot lose. But it's one that they lose nonetheless. That feels like the inexperience shining through from CL4L. Simple mistakes that you just cannot be making at this level of play. And with this game being as close as it is, you gotta wonder, is that gonna be one of the rounds that they look back on tonight when they go home if they don't manage to win this?
Yeah, that was a real head scratcher. I mean, you seemingly had map control. The 2 players from CAG were spread out on the map. You've got more than enough players for you to be able to get in, get the diffuser down, and then just watch the doorways. I mean, I understand you don't have vertical control, but CAG seemingly had fallen off of that position and instead decided to go back towards the bomb site. It was a bit perplexing. But again, younger teams with limited experience are going to have these stumbles. They are going to make what appear to be, I won't say rookie mistakes, but things that leave us scratching our head. It's going to happen with the teams, well, it's going to happen with all teams, but it's going to happen more likely if you have less experience.
We've got a fun operator lineup coming up just next. It's going to be a smoke glass plant with the help of a blitz. Currently, they're setting up around, I think it's again going to be an operations push. We do have, obviously, Uzi on rappel out here. He's taking a lot of damage, but he is over towards bathroom. I think the brunt of this push is going to come in towards the mask wall instead. Bino rotating here now. Packer with the shield. He's going to put it on his back when he goes for that plant. Just to be a little bit safer, almost like an Osa in the way that he wants to play this. Oh, that's a big bandit trick from Anaton. Perfectly done. There's no pressure down below. Uzi is on the bucket, an operator with utility to stop bandit tricks, but he was out on rappel. He was outside the building, nowhere near in a position to stop that from happening. And so because of that, decision in where they want to play. This mask wall looks like it's not going to get opened, Parker. And if you're not opening these walls, that gives you one doorway that they've just smoked, so they got to push through.
And Sheerniko gunned down Adam from a similar spot, and now Packer will try to run past, but they're hitting all the goo mines. Bino's been dropped, Sheerniko is dead, so right now, the advantage seemingly for CAG, it will go even worse for them now, as it's just Uzi and Packer left alive, watching their chances at this map slowly fade away. The shield drawing all the attention as they back up. Uzi looking to burst forth from the bathroom, but also expecting a flank from the bandit. Reads into it quite well. Hey, you just got a leg up. A team kill from CAG has just blown this round wide open. Can Uzi and Packer pull this off? They've got 30 seconds to do that. Looking for information, spotted by a cam, seemingly somewhere. Could it be the yokai that they've missed? CL4L walking in, Packer now taking some damage as he closes the gap. Chasing down the Mira, Uzi dropped. It's all up to Packer to try to clutch out a do-see-do. Ring around the rosy with the Mira, and Shoereap wins the engagement to move CAG to map point.
All right, we'll forget about the C4. Okay. Shoereap, we'll forget about it. Yell it over, let him know. This is something he did yesterday, too, when they were up against G2 on map number 1. He's a very vocal player, Shoereap.
Same setup, though. We should just hit, just do the same shit we did.
I gotta say, you know, maybe we're analyzing it more than other teams just because we hear them a lot, but
3-2-1-ing, you guys gotta wait for me to take the content.
the vibes from CL4L do not seem to be at the level they were at earlier yesterday. It feels much more like what they were like at the end of yesterday when they were in a very rocky spot. I mean, it's going to happen, right? You're 6-4 down. You've been making some big mistakes over the last couple of rounds, which have cost you this. I really liked their pushes. They were clearly very together on those first couple of attacks, but then it feels like one thing goes wrong. They're making some poor decisions, and now all of a sudden it's like it's starting to slip away, and the mental's getting back to them. CAG with full momentum now. 3 players just one off double-digit kills at the moment. 9, 9, and 9 from Blackray, Anathan, and Shoereap. Any one of them getting 1 or 2 of those kills will probably be enough to secure this for CAG and push themselves on to map number 2. Again, this is CAG's map pick, so it's not the, it's not the end of the world if you lose it, but it's a map pick that they've never played, and CL4L have played quite a bit. Like, CL4L as a tier 2 team have played this map more than the majority of tier 1 teams.
Uzi with the leadoff pick on to Sheerniko. Goodbye to the Mira. Uzi's just been getting better and better, it seems, as this event has gone on. Admittedly, it's just a 4th map at this point, but
yeah,
there might not be many more maps remaining for CL4L, depending on how Labs goes, and maybe even how Chalet will go. Certainly knocked CAG off their stride, but they've got at minimum 2 rounds to clear this map. They might need overtime to get the job done, but still a success, I would say, for CAG, especially after things looked a little bit troubling. Shoereap, standing by the castle barricade, not expecting Uzi to walk in, get the kill, and immediately walk out. And now he assesses that punch hole in the window that was made by Anathan earlier on in the round. Excellent start for CL4L to find themselves in a 5v3 with still over half the round to go.
The substitute, Uzi, really putting the team on his back to start things off. Very strong. Blackray finds their free frag onto Adam, though, but it's answered immediately back to Packer here inside of Showers. Doesn't really need to do much. His teammates are all finding the picks. Great work from Bino from behind the shield, and Uzi with the final pickup as well. A 3K on the round from the content creator, Uzi. Some big stuff coming out of him. I will say, one thing that CL4L did very well yesterday were their entries. They were the best entry team in the entire tournament yesterday, winning 61% overall. A lot of that came off of Uzi going 8 and 3 on opening picks. Adam as well, a big part of that equation, going 4 and 1 on the entry. 2K opening coming in on the Yana. Not a surprise, but certainly well needed.
We just have to kill the guy bunks. The pillar guy does not matter. Pillar guy does not matter at all.
What'd you say about Yana again? We want to reference
Yeah.
That stat that you used all the way in G2 Black Dragons?
In Stage 2, Yana was the least played attacking operator other than Blackbeard, which will surprise a lot of our maybe older time viewers or a lot of the more casual viewers, because I don't think Yana is a bad operator. Like, Blackbeard is objectively bad, right? Like, if you're bringing him, you're going to be in a worse spot than if you just had, like, you know, a standard average gun and no utility. Yana, I think, does add to the team, but oftentimes there's just better choices. If you're bringing Yana, you'd rather have an Ashe usually. You'd rather have a Nomad. You'd rather have a Striker. You'd rather have, I don't know, a Nook sometimes, right? There's often better choices, but that doesn't mean you can't pop off and find some great kills. She does still have a strong gun. Secondary utility's not really there. Primary utility's kind of bad, though. So absolutely an operator that can be utilized well. It's just rare to see these days.
It honestly just doesn't seem as powerful anymore now that other operators have come in too. I mean, changes obviously to Yana. There's a period of time where Yana had the Gone 6. Did she have nades as well at one point? Like,
yep. Yeah, she's lost a lot.
There wasn't really a bad reason to bring her. Unfortunately, changes. 2 operators, they come in and out of the meta. Capital has seen his pick rate go up. Brava has had a steady pick rate as well. Saw Gridlock earlier today, see a rise in her pick rate, and Deimos is a staple for most of these teams, though is absent for CL4L's line this time.
Good drone work so far here. I mean, there's not a ton to find. Okay, they'll find a Dread Mine. That's definitely value. So there's no mirror window, nothing crazy that you need, no Kaid claws, but the Dread Mines will be utility that you're happy to clear out. They've also brought a Brava, so a lot of these drone operators, that'll be great for the Banshees in particular. Let's try to clear some of those out. Anaton opens things up. That's the Blitz player down. Packer will fall. Diffuse get on the ground as well from that. They are, again, trying to clear out top floor, but with the angles that CAG are holding and the utility that they have, this is not an easy task. Uzi just missing his shots, can't quite get it. There's an equalize, though.
Chibi-Su's been dropped from Adam, who's 417, does an awful lot of damage. Now it's Anaton's turn to fall at the hands of Giddy. 2 separate players from CL4L getting on the board with just a little bit left in the round. Over a minute. Adrenal Surge will give some staying power to the team. Not Giddy, though. He's torn to pieces by Black Ray. And now it's Bino to walk in. 9 kills for Bino, by the way. Very quietly putting up a great performance. In the last round, he was a huge factor in it, too. Problem was that Bino had access to that diffuser. Nearsighted by Shureep's gadget. Shureep walks up and tries to do the rest of the work himself, but through the soft wall, slaughtered by Adam, his 2nd kill. Diffuser retrieved. 1 Adrenal Surge remains. You wait for it to regenerate. Perfect amount of time left in the round for this to help CL4L. Now walk down those green stairs. Adrenal Surge working its magic. 1 toxic canister for Black Ray. As the 2 CL4L players stand next to the door frame leading into the bomb site, but oh my goodness, Shiraniko could easily get them both. This is for the map. Sidearm out. Shiraniko tussling. Adam prevails. Running out of time, though. He will be vulnerable. He decides to go for the engagement. It's the only way to do it, and Black Ray shuts him down. A 50-50 gamble does not pay off for CL4L. Right call, but the wrong result. CAG Osaka prevail on their map. They're up 1-0.
Close final round, you know, hard to criticize. They traded out well on the top floor. They had a 2v2 pushing in, but you're going against a smoke. You're going against Banshees. Defensive utility, it is strong. Always has been and likely always will be. That is the game that we play. Needed to get a little bit more maybe on that top floor. It's their opponent's map pick, and they put up a good fight. We saw some real bright spots from CL4Life. We also saw some big mistakes. Those will need to be fixed as we look towards our 2nd map of Nighthaven Labs.
And Nighthaven Labs is up next. With no further ado, a quick break, and then we'll come back. Will it be a 2-0 for CAG? We'll find out in just a moment.
Ouais, choque-les, choque-les, ouais, choque-les, 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 ouais, voilà ce qu'ils me disent, je les entends parler et ils m'étrisent, j'arrête que pour rappeler la mise, petit pas sur la piste et le succès je l'ai pisté, disque la place du premier, je fais monter la côté, s'agit des chiffres. La somme je la triple, la concurrence je la dribble. Et le stade est en délire, ça fait choquer. J'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché. Gauche, droite, esquive le rageux. Coach m'a rajouté du temps de jeu. Dans l'action, ouais je me sens en feu. Je suis on fire, fire. Je fais la différence au compteur. Money time, ça shoot sur le buzzer. Switch, je suis on fire, fire. Choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer. Toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché. Choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer. Toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché.
Well, despite all their experience and despite CAG not hiding, or not playing the map, rather, CL4L fell in map 1, giving CAG Osaka a big boost on their own map of Lair. Unfamiliar territory at a tier 1 level for the Japanese team. They now sit one map away from making it out of the dreaded elimination match and into, well, another elimination match, but one that, if they prevail there, they would make it into the playoffs. CL4L could be one map away from a very quick major and a trip home. The next map on deck is one of the newest maps, but not the newest. Not Even Labs will be CL4L's pick. Do we go all the way? Do we need Chalet as the decider? Or is this the end of the road for the team that qualified through the LCQs against all odds? Let's find out, Jesse.
Yesterday, Parker, Not Even Labs was the decider for CL4L versus Black Dragons. They lost that game 7-3 after failing to attack on every single one of their rounds. We'll get into the bans. Should be a Monte, it's CAG banning. Should be a Ying to start, sorry. Should be a Monty for CL for Life. These teams I feel very predictable with their bans. Some teams, I look at their history, I say, oh, I don't know what they're gonna ban. I usually know what they're gonna ban on the side of CL for Life and CAG. I'm expecting Ying, Monty, Tubarao, and then we'll see about the last defender. The problem is both these teams tend to ban Tubarao on Not Even Labs more than any other operator. So Cyclops are going to have to find some other option, assuming that CL4L take out their typical op here. They could also leave it up, expecting CAG to pick it, and then maybe take that advantage for themselves. Some theory that goes into these operator bans, of course. And nope, they'll stick in with the Tubarao. I would guess, my best guess here is a zombie. I would pick a zombie if I had to pick. Could be like a Mira. Those are probably the two best options. Ooh, okay, didn't think that would be coming out. Legion ban. This is an operator that has only really been banned by Team Secret internationally. This is something that they really brought onto the scene this stage. And the reason Team Secret like to ban the Legion is because Team Secret like to flood their European opponents with an absolute metric ton of shields. They love to run at them with Monty, with Blitz, even with Fuse if they have to. And you got to imagine that's also going to be the game plan for CAG. They've banned out the Legion. Their Monty is gone, but Blitz is on the board. You're going to be seeing a lot of that when they move over to the attack. Of course, the way bans work in Siege, both teams don't have access to that operator. So they're also going to have to, for these first 6 rounds, survive against the Blitz, and Packer will be the first one to pick that up.
Well, I mean, CAG banned it out so they know how to deal with it. How will that work for CL4L when they swap sides? Great question. Thank you very much. Bino on Heartbreach, he had a very good first game. Honestly, it was a relatively close Lair when you think about it.
I mean, 7-5.
Yeah.
And for me, it felt like CAG were like relatively consistent. And then CL for Life, they had some really good rounds. They had some really, really poor rounds. And so it really does just kind of depend what form of CL for Life shows up today. Immediately, Shureep has hacked a drone, so he's going to get some of that Mozzie intel. I've got to say, the Mozzie pick rate has skyrocketed this event. The fact that he now has 4 pests instead of 3 seems to make a big difference. Also has impacts now, where he didn't have that in stage 2, but most people are still bringing C4 anyways, so I don't think that's had a huge, change in his pick rate. But I'm seeing a lot of Mozzie recently, as he's really upticked in his pick rate. And with the Legion ban, he'll probably get picked quite a bit even more.
Honestly, sometimes just a very tiny change can have profound impact on an operator's pick rate. So a single Mozzie pest, huge difference.
Yeah.
A couple points of damage to a gun, huge difference. Well, quiet now, though, as the Buck of Giddy opened things up, was looking for a pick there, did not find it. Couldn't find any damage on the CAG. Exterior wall now opened by Bino. He sees a Mozzie pest, by the way. There we go. I was going to make a comment about it, like you saw it.
Yeah.
So get rid of it. But he can go on to drone now, as that'll be electrical that he'll be able to drone through.
The push probably going to come in through kind of connector as well here. I mean, typically you kind of see pushes going either in through Aqua or you see them coming in through connector. That's kind of the two main ways where you see the defuse kit. Then obviously you'll also see players pushing IT, electrical, rafters, many different angles the attackers can take. Giddy down below to start as well. Very common to see Buck players down here disrupting. Often for Mira Windows, who is unbanned but not being played. Can do great work against some of those mute jammers and also just to find players down here as well. Can be very, very effective. The rest of the team, oh, there's a roamer down here. Wait a minute, hold on, that's a free pick. Giddy taking off first in this map.
Shuri was completely blind, and he caught them off guard. Chibisu's Nitro Cell eliminating Packer, leaving CL4L down to 3 players. They've done some damage to Chibisu, but that's really all they can show for it at this point. Shiraniko now contesting with Adam. Adam losing quite a bit of HP, and Shiraniko ultimately winning that engagement. And now it's Uzi and Bino against all of CAG Osaka. It's not their map, so they opted to start on defense. That means CAG Osaka considers it the favorable side. So far, I'd say so good. Uzi, the only one with a kill so far on his team. Bino inside of IT, fighting against multiple forces, and even if he got one pick, there was just too many. They dogpiled him. Round 1 goes to the Japanese squad of CAG Osaka.
It was honestly like a small opening pick. Obviously, the roamer down by Cargo Stairs, but I think it really does show that CAG have done their homework. You know, they watched that game against Black Dragons. The biggest thing that CL4L struggled with yesterday on Nighthaven Labs.
When we see certain operators like Mozzie and like that type of shit, they're not gonna be like playing smart. It's like they're gonna be so. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying like they're gonna. I'm not even saying. I'm just saying like.
We see stuff like that because we saw in Garage, but we should have took that. We should have definitely walked in.
And he's right. A Mozzie's a pretty good sign that, you know what, there might be some off-site players. I don't know if I would say they're doing things that are not smart, because they're smart enough to win the round that point, or at least get the opening pick. But it clearly kind of does give an indication of the play style CAG are going for. And based on what we saw from CL4L yesterday, going for an aggressive play style on Nighthaven Labs where you do lean heavily into the roam game might be just what CAG need to win this game. You're usually roaming on Nighthaven anyways, but not top floor very often. Top floor is one of those sites that you typically do see all 5 players up above. The fact that one player was down inside of Cargo was something that caught CL4L off guard and absolutely punished them. So, yeah, all right. Hopefully some of that adaptation come on in. You're okay to lose one round to something you're not expecting. The real question is, can you learn from that? Can you adapt it? Can you make sure it doesn't happen later in the future? Mozzie's back.
I like Mozzie a lot as an operator. I don't necessarily love what he and Mute did together, if you remember, all the way back in that Mute Mozzie meta. But I think by himself, I think Mozzie is quite an intriguing operator to me. You mentioned the impacts changing up his kit, but CAG will roll with the Nitro Cell for now 2 rounds in a row. And I mean, Nitros are just too good to pass up. Yeah. CAG seems to agree. They brought 3 separate explosives. Uzi on the Ram had opened up that IT wall and was likely moving over towards rafters, and he got taken down. Not exactly a great start for CL4L yet again.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lose right off the bat. He did get to use one of those boogie drones, so some soft destruction did get utilized first. But you can see these players on CAG, they want to get aggressive early. They want to keep controlling this top floor. Bomb site is down in the basement, don't forget. So we've got a lot of positions to try to grab. Shuri with a second beautiful shot to find Adam. Now here comes the blitz, forcing Black Ray out. The Mozzie can't see. And with that, it's hard to win a gunfight. Tries to run away, but Packard manages to hit the shot anyways. It's not bad. They start to get that ground now. It's cost them a lot. They've lost 2 bodies for it, 2 of their best players in Uzi and Adam. But with that, they got full top floor control. All 4 players rotating back down to the basement, with the sole exception being Shurip, who is effectively in the basement. I mean, just playing the vetting stairs at the moment. You've lost your Ram, though. You've got secondary shotgun on Bino. That's good for soft breach. And honestly, you've got breaching charges on Giddy as well. So you're not that worse for wear when it comes to the breaching abilities. But with time starting to get a little bit low, and with your limited-ish breach, and with the fact that you have man disadvantage, you're never going to be favoring CL4L in this situation. CAG, they just got to sit back and wait for the push to come in. You need something on CL4L. A vertical pick would be massive, or some entry into the site without CAG realizing it. A lot of the players on CAG, you can see their outlines are kind of grouped up. Yeah, over in towards kind of the bomb site now, but They're going to be pushing Animus with this execute, trying to get a plant down on the back of Packer.
It's more than enough sight for them to all share it. You can sit quite comfortably here. Middle pillar. Packer going for the defuse, taken out by one of the 3 nitro cells that have been brought. Still one in back pocket for Chibisu. Shiranico engaging with a bit of pugilism. And all the bullets for CAG will hit their mark. CL4L not really having much of an answer for these strong defensive holds from CAG.
Textbook stuff so far. Just good roam game, get a man advantage, fall back to the site, don't do anything dumb, don't do anything aggressive.
Okay. But listen, they're gonna go storage. I want to see what they're doing, but most likely what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go basement. I'm gonna go demos. Okay, you should ping that to you should ping the meat jammers. Okay. No, that doesn't work.
I like the game plan. I like Deimos down below. He's right. The bomb site will be storage. Here's the thing, though, right? I mean, it's like CAG, they're not doing anything crazy. They're not doing anything special. They're just playing well in the roam game. They are being a little aggressive. They're taking early gunfights, but they're not, I would say, doing it in an unorthodox way. A lot of teams will play this style of siege, and I think especially against a team like CL4L who struggle in this environment of challenging the early roam game. It is the right decision. CL4L just got to buckle down and start punishing these early gunfight players, right? Make sure that you are aware that it's going to be coming for the gunfights very early on in the round. Bring multiple players to go for those trades. The game plan here is like to put Packer down below alone. I doubt we'll see anybody with him entering into the basement. This doesn't have a... Oh, he's got the shotgun, interestingly enough, to help him enter into the site. So we'll be heavily relying on the pistol when it comes to actually getting kills. Maybe making a rotate back? Maybe they need his nades somewhere? I'm actually not sure what he's doing up here. Yeah, they need his nades here, I think.
Wasn't it Brazil where we saw Deimos bringing the shotgun quite a bit that you and I casted? I'm trying to remember when it was. I think we saw it a few times in Manchester as well.
Yeah, it comes around every now and again.
I mean, if you're going to get real up close and personal, the shotgun's not bad. That pistol is better than most rifles in the game, so...
Yep. The pistol 2 shots, I believe any op in the game. Unless they're like, you know, think a stimmed, rook armored, whatever.
With very minimal recoil, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Kaiden Nomad launched with pistols very similar to that? They called it the Han Solo gun, and then it got nerfed into the ground?
And they made a whole operator of that concept.
Hard to do that with Deimos, admittedly, because that is his identity. So...
Deimos a very good operator, a very fun operator, honestly. One of my favorite ops that has been introduced to Rainbow Six recently. I would say, other than Shields, probably one of the top, maybe the top operator in the game at the moment. Can be very, very good for finding out isolated players. The roam clear is exceptional. Oh, that's not what you wanted. The C4 came out. The goal of the C4 was just, hey, let's deny the hard breach. What if we kill the hard breacher? That's even better. Anaton takes down the thermite of Bino, and that leaves very few left alive. He'll take 2. Why not? Giddy will go down, and that's all the hard breach now missing. They can't open IT wall. On this bomb site, they've got an angle, so I guess it's okay, but that is killer.
Thing is that everybody has a plan, and if that falls to pieces, you can be doomed, but if you can get 2 opportune picks to put the numbers back to even, then you're in mighty fine shape. Already 1 pick for CL4L. They will find another now on Anaton, and even with everything still closed, you can pull this off. I mean, realistically, they shouldn't be able to do it. Realistically, not opening that up should allow CAG to sit patiently for the next little while and wait this out. Problem obviously is that there's a Deimos and a Dokkaebi on the board. You're gonna have information at your disposal. You'll be able to find them. Adam taking out Shuri, Black Ray dies, and this is a round that should not be falling apart the way that it is. And yet, it's the way she goes. Chibisu in a 1v3, now being hunted down by the Deimos. He's a mute jammer though, so death mark flown away. It's gonna feel like a very long 20 seconds for Chibisu. Already taking some fire inside of storage. He can only guard one of these bomb sites at a time. He's got plenty of silhouettes. Nitro Cell goes out. Does some damage, but Uzi seems like he'll be successful with this diffuser. Chibisu losing the battle to Adam, and my God, how did CAG lose that round?
I mean, really, the fact they couldn't open the IT wall, I guess it didn't completely ruin their push, but it forced them to go to the other site. It forced them to push control rather than pushing in towards storage itself. And that's okay, especially because they had Packer walking up the cargo stairs. He entered in the basement on the Deimos. You saw him get that first big pick that they did not expect on the side of CAG. And then with that Deathmark track, he was able to force the second player inside of control to move and get shut down by, I believe it was Adam. So really good stuff coming out of the Deimos of Packer. You don't expect to be seeing a ton of that, but Packer really well played. Yesterday, Deimos was Packer's most played operator on attack, but he had just an 18% win rate through 11 rounds on Deimos. He plays this op a lot. He's not found much success with it recently, but of course can still be very good with it, knows how it works. Great stuff from Packer.
A lot of the time through yesterday's matchups, it seemed like they lived and died off of Packer, with Tristan not being able to compete for CL4L. I think it's fair to say far more weight has fallen on the Packers' shoulders, not just to guide the team as a leader, but to also do it with killing as well. A slow start for Giddy, as we saw one of the maps yesterday where he was in this exact same position. And I'm trying to remember which one it was. Might it have been Chalet, where Giddy had 0 and 2, 0 and 3. After a couple rounds? I don't think you remember.
Definitely had a rough start on one of them. Mostly it's because he starts on attack. This tends to be the trend for Giddy. When he starts on attack, he does start off quite slow. Yesterday, he hit a 0.18 kill-death ratio on attack and a 1.8 kill-death ratio on defense. A whole decimal difference in terms of his ratio on one side versus the other. He doesn't play that many different operators on defense, but he plays a ton on attack. That might be part of it. He's forced to flex quite a bit on the attacking side of things. Here's an opportunity for Shiri, immediately shut down. Man of the hour, Giddy. We just talked about how he hasn't really been finding success. Well, Caster cursed him, Caster blessed him into having some success in this one. Great play.
Very rare for the Caster curse to go the other way.
Yeah.
There's an Electric Claw being thrown on the wall by Anaton. IT hoping to be kept closed by CAG, but that Ash charge from Giddy down below will make it much harder for them to hold, as there are no Electric Claws remaining for Anaton to shuffle that electricity around. IT has now been opened up. Now, walking into this bomb site will get a little bit easier. Where's Packer about to go? That's the question. It looks like over towards Fish, or Aqua, as a lot of people refer to it as.
Nope.
No, we'll hop in. This happens with shields. We've talked about this all day, and we talked about it yesterday. Shields will go in one direction, and all of a sudden they'll change their mind. IT open for Packer to walk in. He's backed up by Bino.
I typically like the Aqua push better, but he's got no teammates around there, and there's a lot of defenders that way, including a Warden, so that's always scary as a shield player. They'll find a second pick as Adam takes down Anaton, giving them a two-man advantage now with IT wall open, and the shield player ready to jump on in. They should be in a good spot here.
Now only two remain from CAG. C4L starting to come back. Down goes Black Ray to Bino, and now it's Giddy to get the job done. Some words that are said that we can't say on television. Tie game between these two teams.
They're down a map, and it's only 2-2, but I appreciate the energy nonetheless. This is probably the best push they've had as well on Nighthaven at the very least. Making some space, of course, with the blitz when they had to, but mostly just getting the IT wall open and working picks off that. Finding a lot of those CAG players that are perhaps over-swinging, that are maybe getting caught off guard by some of the more steadfast angles that are being held by CL4L. That's one of those bomb sites that you really can just wait for the defense to swing. You can put a lot of pressure on them, assuming you can open those walls, which is usually easier said than done. Less that aggression from CAG as well. That's something that they were able to utilize early in this game to catch CL4L off guard. But at the moment, we weren't seeing quite as much of that. We go down to the basement, and I believe Anaton is trying to hide on this bandit. The fact that he just moves into Animus and then gets on cams. He's looking at like the cargo cam, the vending cam. He's seeing if there are any drones that are entering into the basement. What he wants is he doesn't want the enemy team to be bringing a Maverick or any sort of EMPs. They will bring 2 impact EMPs on Bino as well as the IQ. And also, this is one of those sites where you can often deny those bandit batteries from up above. But it's always to your advantage if you're playing an operator like Bandit or Kaid or sometimes Clash. If you can hide in the prep phase and reduce the chances that the attackers bring the utility that is needed to counter you, it can be really, really a smart play.
It was IT Wall yet again being opened up, this time just by a secondary shotgun instead of any real dedicated hard breach, which, as you can see on the side of CL4L, the only dedicated hard breach they have are a set of can openers. Thanks to Beano Striker, of course. So, you don't really need dedicated hard breach with how CL4L are going to want to go about this bomb site. I mean, they're going to want to open things up, tons of soft destruction there with the Ram. They've got grenades, they've got smokes, go in under the cover of darkness, get the defuse planted. It's all really going to hinge on Packer. Where will he go? What will his focus be on that blitz? Warehouse has been taken now as they're up on rafters. The roam clear on the top floor will begin, still in many ways in the discovery phase of the round.
For sure. I mean, there's not a heavy roam going on at the moment. There are a couple of players here on the main floor. Blackray and Cafeteria, probably the most aggro player, but the rest of them are very passive at the moment. You can see they brought 4 Nitro Cells and a bunch of Alt Cams. Probably won't work because the IQ is on the board, but the game plan here is not to actively engage in gunfights on the roam, but instead to use the information from the Valkyrie to get picks with those Nitro Cells instead. Blackray would be the only one who might get into a gunfight before they actually start the round, and indeed, as he moves to the hallway, this angle, Giddy's outside the window trying to watch it, but unfortunately, they're not calling for that. And there's the Dokkaebi call, so they will likely all be having to play more passive at this point. The hatches start to get open. It's going to be another Cargo and Animus push, most likely from CL4L. Probably a 5-man execute, assuming that nobody dies to Nitro Cells ahead of time, and Blackray can't pull off this flank. This is going to be the real play. Who has the man advantage late? All based on this.
Giddy's waiting for the vault on in. No logic bombs remaining. A lot of utilities now been spent by CL4L, and they've limited results in terms of engagement. Giddy saw the slow peek from Blackray, but a bit too late for him to do any damage. Blackray taking some damage, but still walks away. Chibisu, another kill for CAG. CL4L attempting the plant. Adam to cover as Packer's tucked into the corner with the shield on his back. Adam side by side. Uzi taken down by a Nitro Cell. Packer bleeding out as now Adam will either have to get his teammate up or go for the defuse. Will they have enough time? Nice clutch by Adam in that moment. Packer at the halfway point, and Shiraniko will be able to stop the plant in its tracks. Packer not giving him the kill. CAG lost 2 in a row, but they seemingly have cauterized the wound. It's their first victory in almost 10 minutes, and CAG regains the lead.
That could have been such a sick clutch from Adam, but very unlikely, obviously.
Could have been so nice.
It would have been very, very clean. You could have put that on Twitter. It would have got a lot of likes, but ultimately, I think that the flank from Blackray, really, it's the story of CL for life, isn't it? It's an aggressive player who gets misdroned out on the roam. They have a flank watch ready for him, but because you don't know where on the flank watch he's coming from, catches you off guard, gets the opening pick. Then Chibisu gets a pick over by Cargo Stairs as well, I believe it was, and then your entire push was focused just in Animus, right? So at that point, you're very linear. The opportunities are looking much better for CAG. And they will take the lead in this game, 3-2. Don't believe we have attack being called at this point.
I'll do something weird. Actually, I don't know, bro.
Oh, it might be.
Tech pause, it appears.
Seems like it. All right.
We're going to rehost games, so then coach can call timeout, okay?
I believe.
We didn't get to timeout in time, so we're going to rehost. Once we get in game, then you guys can talk once timeout's over, okay?
So, sounds like they wanted attack timeout.
Yes, but they couldn't call it in time.
So they're going to tech into attack.
Yes, so technical timeout into a tactical timeout, during which, for the record, you can't talk to your coach during the technical pause. You got to wait until everything's back up and running.
Yep. Bodega will know that.
Yes,
his
he will.
wealth of experience here at international events. So we get the lobby resorted, of course, at this point. It's frustrating a little bit that CL4L seem to be fumbling to the same issues they had yesterday on this map. Again, in some sense, it feels like they've done a lot better than yesterday. I think they've had moments that have looked way better than yesterday, particularly on Nighthaven Labs. But when there is a roamer out on the map, even when you've got the Deimos, even when you've got the Dokkaebi, they just don't seem to have that information. Flanking has been exceptionally effective against this team, and so that's something that if they manage to win this game, if they can win the series, move on to the next matchup, which will be against Chiefs. I'm sure Chiefs themselves will be very much ready for, and will likely be a weakness that was exposed by teams until they're out of the tournament, or until they win the whole thing.
Chiefs were up very early, and they've got to wait a long period of time between these matches. I mean, it might even be like 6-7 hours between games. That can be quite grueling, and if you talk to teams that have to wait a deal of time between it, you can kind of lose focus and momentum. Here's some stats for you right now. Black Ray having a very good day in comparison to what we saw from him yesterday. The same cannot be said of Packer. I mean, not a lot of international experience, so you can't really say this and mean it, but his worst performance so far.
Me and Black Ray have the exact same coffee cup. I'm clutching it right now.
That's the one here at the venue. I'm very glad. I'm glad that you are drinking the same coffee that he is.
A man of good taste.
I mean, there aren't a lot of other options.
No, there really
You're
aren't.
going to go out and go get your own coffee.
We got all 10 in the lobby now, so we're just waiting for the ready up. Should be very short now. Again, this will go into the TAC, so we'll have a little bit more time to get on into it. Uzi has been a player that has really been the focus of attention for this squad. A lot of people might be not often watching competitive stage, but maybe you're a fan of Uzi. Makes a lot of great content, TikTok, YouTube. He's out there grinding every single day. And so if you're only here to watch Uzi perform at the highest level of the game, then welcome. He's played well. A 1.0 KD ratio yesterday. I would say the MVP of the only map that they've won so far. Maybe not well enough to be winning more than one map at the tournament, but if he pops off once again, if he can have the same performance that he had yesterday, especially playing around with that Mozzie, it's absolutely still in the cards. We'll be loading into round 5, so the defense is yet to come from CL4L. Something that we've seen consistently both today and yesterday is that we've seen very defender-sided maps through the play-ins. That tends to be common when you see lower-level teams. And so there is an opportunity to bounce back from CL4L when they get to the second half.
They've called their timeout now, so they're talking through this. So the next 30 seconds will be about how to approach this, not this, even the second half of this map, just what comes next. CAG with a 3-1 lead on Labs, on defense. That's pretty good. I mean, CAG picked this side. You'd expect them to be able to run it up. The operator bans are something that will intrigue me. The Legion ban by CAG will affect CL4L to some extent, but how much is the question.
It's storage. It's storage. No.
I think that was actually quite a telling interaction. Frustration from Packer when he says, it's storage, and it sounded like Giddy immediately said, it sounded like he immediately said, stop yelling. And so it begins.
Okay, then for server, bro, literally open the pillar wall, and then we hit Aqua, okay? But we need a nade from below. We need it from below to destroy the shield on Aqua, you know? But it's in the middle of the hall, the shield, okay?
Our HUD says tech pause. I assume it is a tech pause based on Budega still conversing with the players.
No, we're gonna bait or we're going weed, you know?
I know we are rehosting.
I'm reasonably certain that
once again.
Okay.
I'm reasonably certain.
We can just go
Yo,
weed
they're
again.
going storage. Before the rehost, they went storage.
Yeah, you're good to join.
Yes, I did. Yes.
I'm not the kid that's going to tell the teacher that they forgot to give out homework, but it would seem like a bit of a longer timeout than...
They're expecting a storage to come through for this next round. I didn't catch, actually, before we rehosted, what site they had picked. but I assume he's correct on that.
There's no way I can smoke right. I'm in Delaware. Does that make sense?
Do you guys
Go
prefer
back in the pod.
for the bait or the weekday?
It's top, bro. I guarantee. Okay, stop talking, guys. Sorry.
We literally. Oh my
No
god.
talking, guys. Sorry. Okay.
We'll see as we load on in. I know that we had jumped in and storage was not the site, so I think they're rehosting a second time just to get that figured out, just to make sure that everything is correct and proper as we load in through the game.
No talking, guys.
Why did it look like storage?
No talking, guys.
Sometimes directions are hard.
Bro, I swear they were.
Shy, good low.
All right, chat. Well, I believe we are jumping into it very shortly here. It seems like we are pretty much ready to go. As long as everything is correct at this point, we should be able to start the game back on up. This has been a map that CAG have been performing a little bit better on. It's been streaky. It's been streaky for sure, with both teams winning multiple rounds in a row. If that keeps up, CAG could go up 4-2 at this point. We're heading to top floor in round number 6, so perhaps a missed drone from Packer on the previous round before the rehost. But in any case,
Not storage.
not storage. That would be the bomb site below this one. Yankees will get going here. Look at this, Anatson hunting for drones. That's dedication. That's commitment to finding the drones. Says screw setup. I'm gonna stare at this staircase through a punch hole. Didn't find any, I don't think. The HUD is telling us that all 10 drones are still alive, so that seems to be correct. He'll reinforce anyways. And we'll get into our final round of the first half. It's not do or die for CL4L. This is a defender side of map typically. If they go down 4-2, they can absolutely bounce back on their own side. But after a long break like that, you got to imagine this would be a big round for momentum. It is a defender side of map, but not incredibly so. It's not like Consulate. So a 3-3 split could roll into more momentum for CL4L on the second half, or a 4-2 split could be exactly what CAG need. I'll remind the chatters, once again, this is a do or die map for CL4L. If they lose this, they are out of the tournament. You need to win Nighthaven Labs right now, or you will be going home in dead last place.
That's true.
Nobody wants that.
This is our first elimination game.
It's... Yes.
No. The Fear X game is going on the other channel.
Yeah, it's our first elimination game that we
Yes.
cast.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
As friends.
We are friends. What is happening in that game?
Well, the game has ended, Parker, and to spoil the results, it looks like Alpha Team have been eliminated in last place.
Dead last.
Dead last, unfortunately.
Technically dead last just because they were the first game. But one of these two teams will join them shortly thereafter.
Exactly, yes. Unfortunate, the Hispanic LATAM region has certainly struggled internationally. That will continue here in our second major of the year. Echo Drone actually making the life of this blitz very tough, but he's got coverage. Thankfully, it's Adam behind who will get the trade, take down Black Ray. And with a Toxic Babe, Yokais, they've dealt damage, but they can't get the kill. Packer's in sight. His feet will get shut up by Shereep, though. Deep inside of it now. Adam, another one, working off the back of that blitz that made so much space. There's over a minute left on this clock, but they've got full site control, so they're in a commanding position.
So we come down to this IT push now as two separate players from CL4L want to burst free of this part of the map. Shiranigo eliminating Adam puts numbers back to even. Bino surveys the damages that have been done. Down goes Anaton to Uzi. Shiranigo still in this little rat spot, still on the ground. In Chibisu to hold down the fort inside of CC. CL4L's had struggles in the past with taking the advantages that they earned. What about this time? They got 30 seconds. They do not have the diffuser. That might be a bit of a problem. They'll need to retrieve it. As the timer continues to work against them, maybe just go for picks. Maybe that's the focus at this point. If you're CL4L, you got to imagine that's the right play. Beautiful shot by Chibisu, and he gets not just one, but two from this position. Make it a third! Put CL4L on ice! My God, what a play by CAG Osaka. All that time spent waiting between rounds. And oh my, a 4-2 half for CAG Osaka. When do you start to worry? If you're CL4L.
But you can run out.
Honestly, it depends after this round. I'm not worried yet. It's a 4-2 defensive half on Nighthaven. If it goes to 5-2, then I'm worried. At that point, you lose your first defense. Your defense should be your strongest site first. That's when the concerns come out. I will say for that last round, Adam had the defuse kit. He went into site. He started planting. And then he got shot and dropped the defuse kit onto the floor. They had the ability to go back for that plant, but without the actual site control, without the ability to avoid getting shot down, they couldn't quite get it. So really good plant denial from CAG. That's something that, of course, they struggled with yesterday. They allowed plants in 47% of their defenses, which is the worst of any team here at the event playing against G2. Their same problems not afflicting them as much in this second match that they play against CL for Life. They'll move to the defense now. And again, this is going to be very telling. If they can win this round, 4-3, not a bad scoreline at all. You're laughing. 4-3, we're on the better side, no problem. You lose it, 5-2, that's a big gap. They're more than doubling you at that point, 2.5x. Far more rounds. This one is critical for CL for Life to win. And also, we've got the new strategy coming out as well. Anaton with the Blitz, trying to make use of that Legion ban.
I mean, you might be off to the races as the Blitz. Quick enough to get on in. There's no Legion, but there still is a Capkin, and Anaton has found that out the hard way. He's been reduced to rubble. Chibisu. Very similar story with that SMG-12. Great success in the previous round on Warden. Now with the same gun, different operator, different side of the equation. As Chibisu walks in and will now pick up some more information from the CL4L team. Bino eliminating Shoe Reap as he flanks all the way through Connector from Electrical, and now he'll be joined by what appears to be a flank from Packer too.
Oh, the Dokkaebi has no idea. That's surely a free pick from Packer. Unless they pop a logic bomb, they might be able to find them out, but they've got no idea. There's the freebie. Packer, good headshot, and now we'll retreat back down the Aqua stairs. Anaton not getting much done on the Blitz. Ironically, one goo mine away from death. So the band perhaps helping out. They had Capcan traps, they had Ela mines, they had C4s, all trying to bring him down, but they couldn't quite get that last bit of damage. These last couple of players, though, they need to make it back to site, and they will make it just barely. That's going to send everybody down to the basement now, with the exception of Bino, who's still in cafeteria. Adam at the top of vending stairs as well, but in a very safe place to fall back. Bino joins him, looks like they're both going down. So, a minute 10 on the clock. You've got man disadvantage. You've got literally 0 soft breach, unless you use those X Kairos. Adam, he kind of wants more. This is a bit of a risky situation.
I was going to say, you can float somebody on this middle floor, given the numbers for CL4L. It's actually a good idea for them to send at least one player up top. Because while the attackers don't have soft destruction, look at the defender lineup.
True.
Shotgun in the hands of Packer, shotgun in the hands of Bino. They can easily open up kill holes that will doom the C4 or the CAG players down in the bomb site. Fire just ending as Black Ray drops, taking quite a lot of damage in the process. A kill, but it's traded out by Packer. CL4L still in the driver's seat. Anaton cannot do much on that Blitz at 6 HP. Nitrocell goes off, but is skirted just far enough away from it. Goodbye to Bino. Shiranigo taking care of that player off-site. Packer trades it right back, and now it's 6 HP of Anaton. Running out of time. He sees the mirror, will have to go for a plant amidst the smoke. He'll find an opportunity. At the 0 mark. And the run-up from Packer, who shreds the shield but has limited information. He's managed to get the down. Once the smoke clears, he'll have an idea of what comes next. Quad kill for Packer. They get the diffuser, and the gap will close. CAG still in the lead, but only by 1.
It was an optimistic plant. Packer, ridiculous round there, coming out 4K. The decision-making from Packer is exceptional. I think it's his best strength. He was the #1 player from CL for Life yesterday, putting up 25 kills through 3 maps. IGLing the team, making the right calls, always in the right position, and hitting his shots, of course, too. He's been so important for the team.
Go mirror. Oh, fuck, never mind.
I can do it, no?
I mean, yeah, I think at time. Yeah.
They did not click Mira, to be clear. Sometimes the ideas come a little bit late, but, I mean, still, he's the brain of this team, right? He is the guy who is commanding the rest of them. He is coming up with the strategies. He's calling the shots. He does a lot for this team, and I think mentally as well, we've talked about quite a bit how he does have a huge impact on how the team hold themselves, how they respond to advantages and disadvantages. I called it a must-win round for CL4L, and they won it. Doesn't mean that it's a free game yet, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy from this point forward, but it does mean that you've got some wiggle room. You've gotten your first defense locked on the board. You can start to string them together now. CAG are not going to have an easy time on the attack. It's those aggressive plays sometimes that do really make or break games. Will send you on to deep runs through a tournament or will send you home. Both teams have been very willing to make those moves.
Pivotal round, won by CL4L. CAG had persevered, it would have been a 5-2. Their victory in that round might have put this match a bit too far out of reach. But now with that victory, CL4L's 4 wins on defense, becoming easier to muster. Right now the main focus from CAG, open up that IT wall, keep Maverick out of harm's way. Carve it open enough that a buck can easily destroy it, and in just a moment, that steel reinforcement should fall. I think the issue's on the bottom.
Blacker, I think so. He's pinged it out. Kind of awkward here, but I think he's fine. He's got good cover. The Azami does have the opportunity to do the funniest thing, but not yet.
Which is impact it?
Just shoot the Mav, yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, you don't.
She doesn't have impacts.
I was gonna say she doesn't have impacts.
All right.
I was trying to figure out what you were saying.
Wall open now.
I understand
it took a bit of time, but they get it done. It's fine. They're gonna probably move the Mav now over to connector, if I had to guess. I don't know where Shoe Reap is going. I guess he wants to just enter in and walk up the lobby stairs. Fair enough. There is more work to do. The danger that I always see with Maverick on this site is it takes ages to get these walls open. And as you saw on site, there's going to be Goyo canisters inside the bomb site. There's going to be C4s. There's going to be a lot of time denial on the side of CL4L as well. So the walls are open now, minute 15 on the clock. The real question is, can they quickly start to open the last of these walls and deal with the more aggressive players? Adam, not too far away, inside Electrical, finds the opening pick.
Adam with 1, Black Ray trades him back. So the advantage gain from CL4L is only there for a second. As we move forward into this event, I will be very interested to see if the timing for attackers gets better. Things have slowed down considerably in the play-ins. Is that just because maybe the teams are not as experienced? Is it because maybe some of the play-in teams are just simply not as proficient? Not entirely sure. Giddy dies to Chibisu on the Nook, an operator that CL4L did not see coming. Packer 4-1 since the rehost. Putting his team on the back, 5-1, as there's another player there as well. Chibisu with a single kill, Uzi with 2 very fast, and Shiraniko now walking up the stairs. 10 seconds remain. Taking damage through the soft wall, and a huge 3K from Uzi to end the round and tie the match between these two teams.
Good shots, bro. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I love the push coming out from CAG in that one. They weren't able to get the main wall open from connector, which meant that they were in a really awkward spot where they had to just walk Diffuse Kit in through IT. Diffuse Kit IT is a really awkward spot to push, right? Usually you want your Diffuse Kit coming connector to go through and plant behind the pillar, or maybe you want to come in Aqua and plant behind the bomb chassis. It's not great. There's no great plant spots if you take your Diffuse Kit like Rafters or IT. So they were really constricted based on kind of what they had open. And then even with their limited resources with their push, they weren't together, right? They were very isolated. Great from Uzi to get a 3K, but the 3 kills were not back to back to back. Like there was no trade attempt there. There was 2 separated. So they really opened the door for Uzi to get that 3K is what I'm saying. He still hit great shots. He still played well, not taking that away from him. But I don't think he should have had all those opportunities if they were playing a little bit more together on the side of CAG.
Yeah, I'm putting two fingers on
Appreciate that we're able to hear the teams speak to each other between the rounds, by the way, Jesse.
Me too.
I quite enjoy it. It was actually in Montreal in this same room because we actually casted groups here for SI a year and a half ago. Well, you obviously didn't.
I was there.
But you weren't casting.
Maybe I was.
You were analyzing.
Maybe whilst the game was going on, I was sitting there to myself going like, man, to get to 4K. Woo! I was casting the whole
I like the quiver in your voice. It really sells how strong you would be at this role.
I think I'd be okay.
I think you'd be okay.
Thank you.
Back in the Corn Pop 16 days, did you not do play-by-play from time to time?
I did. I started my 16-year-old career as a play-by-play caster. That's right.
Old Corn Pop.
You know it.
Montreal was where the Corn Pop nickname died, too.
It is where I decided to change.
This is a very important city to you, and yet it's still your first time here.
You've got this long-running joke. That's my first time in Montreal.
Behind the scenes, every time I talk about Montreal, I pretend that Jesse's never been here, and I explain things to him in a very simple fashion about the city. He doesn't find it very funny. I find it very, very funny.
Apparently they speak French here. That's crazy.
Yes, I've heard that as well. I didn't understand it, but I heard it.
We've got a couple players entering into the basement, not dissimilar to what Packer was trying to do earlier on this map. It's Shirif this time around. It's not going to have the same utility to get value down there like the Demos, but will instead be able to move through it very, very quietly. And so could still have a huge impact as he rotates, likely up through cargo late into this round. Meanwhile, his teammates are working on the IT wall. They're starting to clear these players out of top floor. I'm curious what Anderson actually wants to get done on the blitz. My guess and what it seems like he wants to do now is just rotate down below, plant on the blitz with the shield behind your back. I don't think you're trying to clear out top floor on this operator. But still opportunities, and if they see that as a potential ability, then they could go for something like that. The Demos will rotate down to the basement eventually and start tracking the smoke. This forces Bino all the way back into control and maybe opens opportunity for a plant. They're in.
Anaton, with the case at hand, needs to fight his way through the smoke, through the barbed wire, all the while being softened up by multiple foes. What does he do here? He has no choice but to engage, picked apart by Adam. Still over a minute to go. Adam and Uzi taking some damage. Uzi now dropped. Finished off by Black Ray, over by Catwalk. Now it's Adam, seemingly under fire. Shiraniko pivoting, removing Bino from the server. Our CL4L destined to just take these 1v1 engagements all round.
Perhaps. A couple of players still on in. Chibisu pretty isolated top of ending stairs. All three of these players not really next to each other. It doesn't matter though. Packer ends up losing it to Chibisu. He then managed to find the track on a Kapkan. It's a very hard operator to play against in a disadvantaged man count situation. They know exactly where Adam is. If they can find Giddy, they'll have full intel. They know where Giddy is now.
Yeah, Mark as well, up on Catwalk, up on those rafters above Adam's head as he moves his way back to the bomb site. Giddy still holding above it. On this top floor, he'll retake Catwalk. CL4L managing the clock very well. CAG don't know what the next steps are. Shiraniko with diffuser. He's the last one left. Looking at the bomb chassis. Nice pick, and he'll start to defuse. How far away is Giddy is the real question. Seemingly should be able to make it there in time, and yes, he does. By the skin of his country teeth. Giddy makes it there, wins the round, and CL4L have the lead.
I thought you lagged through the rotate, Adam. Oh my God.
Another optimistic plant spot, for sure. No options, of course. It was that or immediately lose the round on time, but it's another round where we're seeing CAG just fumbling to put the pieces together. Oftentimes, that's one of those bomb sites where you want to jump in, jump out, bait the utility. We didn't see any of that. He jumped in, took some damage from a C4, took some damage from Toxic Babes, and then got shot in the feet. That's not the plant that you want as the blitz there. They had full top floor control, or at least IT. They had full bottom floor control. They had the smoke pushed back with the Demos track. They had everything they wanted to go for a plant, but it just never came out. They didn't really find the angle. The smoke came back in. He wasn't actually killed. He was just tracked and forced back deeper into the site, where then he just returned and was able to Toxic Babe things off as he wanted to. Maybe it could have been nice if somebody else jumped in the window, tried to help out, if there was some pressure bottom garage there, but wasn't being put together. Cyclops yet to win even a single attack on this second map. We wondered if a 4-2 split was going to be good enough, and at the moment it doesn't seem like it is. 5-4 now. CL for life 2 rounds away from winning their second map of the tournament and forcing a third.
been a dogfight for the CL4L folks. It's nice that they get their map, though, for the second bout of this series. Imagine losing your map first and then having to go to your opponent's map choice, knowing that it might be curtains for you in your time here in Montreal. Spoilers ahead, but as Jesse pointed out, we've already said goodbye to one team so far through the play-ins. Alpha, coming from LATAM, defeated by Fear X earlier today. The loser of this matchup will join them. Will it be the Western Hemisphere, sending 2 teams home? CL4L coming in through the LCQs, having a bit of that Cinderella run as we called it, and then having an unfortunate situation where they had to find a sub, and Uzi has been doing pretty well given the circumstances. CL4L lose Bino very early on. He was good in map number 1. He's cooled off quite a bit in map 2. CAG walk in and dispatch him entirely. And now Giddy marching down the stairs with the Bailiff out, losing the duel to Black Ray, who could yet find a second. But Uzi on top, Aqua says not today. Numbers still favoring CAG for the moment, though.
Good fights from Black Ray. I think he's happy to go 1 for 1 there. Uzi, now you've dealt a bit of damage. You know exactly where he's at. Shuri's going to be hunting for them. I've got a couple of bodies up here. I mean, oh, the Nitro Cell. You thought it was going to be a 1v2, but no. With Packer down below sending his support, that will take down the Twitch and meaning it's a 3v3, all of them falling back towards the bomb site. And they're going to be safe and sound down here. There is a buck up above them. 65 seconds to work with, and Ash as well, who has plenty of soft breach to work with too. They've got all the tools they need on the side of Cyclops to make this site unholdable. They can deny a ton of these positions. Time is okay. It's not great. It's not unusable. They don't really have much hard breach either at this point, but they're likely to be planting inside of Animus, so as long as they've got the Animus hatch open, or the wall open, which is what they're going to be going for right now. Ooh, actually, where are they planting? No, they're going to be opening up the assembly wall. They're going to be going down vending stairs for their plant. So, different strategy from what I was talking about, but still can be very, very effective. Shiraneko on the Thermite will just be covering for the plant. Anaton likely putting it on the ground, and here they go.
Anaton charging on in, no kills since coming back from the rehost. And he's on case duty at this point. Bad coverage from Shiraneko as Packer gets 1 kill. Anaton off of the plant, taking matters into his own hands. Now it's all up to Shuriep on the buck, as the time is such that if you lose the planter, it's all over. Anaton wins the duel because he falls off the plant, unsheathing the pistol and getting the job done. The case actually does go down. So technically in a post-plant, it's CAG winning the fight, and we'll need all 12 rounds to settle this.
That was actually absurd. Are you kidding me? Adam up above in the spot to deny that plant. That's one of those plants that can always be denied from up above if you do not hold control of storage. That's an auto win, surely, for the defense, but no. Still, we saw Adam struggle to deny that. He didn't actually have any angles open, so he was firing blind towards the plant spot. Amazingly, Shuriep was able to hit a shot vertically and take down Adam. It was a ridiculous one, and at the same time, Uzi is their swing, so everything's being done correctly by CL4L. They're coordinating at the right moment. They're swinging together. They're trying to stop that plant, but somehow Anaton jumps off the defuse kit, 4 HP, and hits the shot to take down Uzi. That's a goofy way to end that round. Incredibly impressive by both Shuriep and Anaton to clutch at the 2v2. Just never should be winning a round like that, but they do it. Sometimes making the impossible look so easy. And they pull it off beautifully. That is a round they desperately needed, Parker. They had yet to win a single attack through the entirety of this map. They'll get one now as we move into a technical pause. Not 100% sure on the issue, but they're all just rejoining the lobby right now, so I can tell you it will not be a long one, I hope. It looks from my analysis that it won't be a long one. I shouldn't make promises I can't for sure keep. Because if I say that and then we're here for an hour, that would be awkward. But I don't think it will be.
To the point now where we're doing analysis on rehosts. I don't really know what the issue is, to be completely honest. But all of CAG is back in the lobby. Slowly but surely, this CL4L team is joining them. And again, you can't really do much discussing on these technical issues. You just got to wait until you're back in and then be able to talk. Coaches can only speak during timeouts. Every player now back in the lobby.
CL for Life, hopefully very aware of that at this point.
What'd they do last time for IT?
Nothing.
No, but what
What did they do last time for IT? Nothing.
How?
No, but it's
How?
not the question.
I enjoy listening to them.
Yeah. Again, being told they can't.
I mean, bro, I would have been talking about it that was for the 7th time.
Obviously, that top floor bomb site will be the next goal for CL for Life. The push last time tried to come in through, if my memory is correct, through connector, but they didn't get the connector wall open, so they had to go IT instead.
I mean, are you feeling Nagoya? I was gonna say the L shotgun, but
Attack pause is over. I can confirm we're starting the round, so they're free to chat at this point. Not with their coach, but amongst themselves. And I believe another game is starting on the B stream, given the chance that we're hearing. But this game's still very much underway. We'll load into the top floor now, as they will settle on the Ella from Adam, not the Goyos. So making that decision as a team. Again, Packer very involved with a lot of those calls, and the team, they trust him quite a bit. They always are going to listen to what he has to say. Not dictating things, but obviously they're going to have that conversation, and Adam makes the final call that he does agree the L is going to be the right decision here. Often brought on this bomb site to hold down top Aqua. Very common strategy.
Can't change it, so if the L is not the correct play, oopsie daisy.
True.
It's a bit too late now.
That would be awkward if you could change defensive operators in the prep phase. I don't know how that would work. You spawn in as Ella, you toss down all the Grismoths. You swap to Goyo, you put down all your Goyo canisters.
I like where your head's at. Let's run with this idea.
The thing is, defense, they're not strong enough. That's what everybody always says about
Just keep
Rainbow.
spawning in operators with, oh, Uzi spawn peeking shoe reap. Devastating. That's the Maverick. No other hard breach on the board for CAG. What a huge pick for CL4L.
That's going to be in a YouTube video next week.
Next week.
Maybe earlier. I don't know how fast.
God works fast. Uzi's editors work faster.
Nobody works faster than Bolo's editors, I'll tell you that.
I was gonna say, I'm literally on break in between a match, and there are clips of that map that just finished on my Instagram from Bolo's editors.
Yeah, Bolo's editors go crazy.
I hope he pays him enough.
Starting on the IT wall, very worried about an impact trick through that Mira window. Or a nitro trick. We actually did see that earlier in this game. There are no impacts to be afraid of, but they won't know that. There are nitro cells. There are bandit batteries as well, but none of them get deployed. So IT wall is open, safe and sound. Likely that util will be saved instead for the connector wall. They can't actually walk through that. They'd have to vault through it, which is a little scary sometimes. You're very vulnerable when you're vaulting. But they can still make it in. They've still got that long angle to view. Azami in Rafters is one of the strongest operator and location combinations that you can have. She's so good up here, and Black Ray immediately taken down by Giddy, just as I'm telling you. Zob can be so effective, still finding for even more. The Mira window makes it even stronger. Using those Kibas actually to protect yourself from below. There's a buck down there, Shiraniko, trying to make his presence known. And deals a little damage, pops the window and forces the Azami back. But Giddy's done his job, and Uzi's not done yet either. Finds the second on a Chibisu, really just bleeding into this site. CAG not together whatsoever. 3 bodies down while Anatom's on the roof with the fuse kit. Hasn't really felt like they've been able to put together a good push, and of course it all does spiral off of that opening pick onto the Maverick.
Packer looking for an opportunity. Goodbye to Uzi. Packer now with the final player in front of his very eyes. He wins it. And CL4L move to match point. CAG struggling to get in the building, struggling to gain any footing whatsoever. They're being punished by the strong defensive plays of CL4L.
Absolutely. CL4L have played the better game so far today in this map. I like their defenses. They won't be able to go back to the top floor. Packer makes the call, let's go storage. They're gonna run it back.
Was that not Pro League? That's compy.
That's peace.
So true. This could be the final round of the map. This could send us to Chalet and have a third decider, which will ultimately decide who goes home. CAG, one last chance to do or die now. They want to make this a clean 2-0 sweep. Map 1 went 7-5. I think it would be fitting for the second map to also go 7-5. Set us up for a fantastic 15-round Chalet. Could be exciting.
I'd like to see Chalet between these teams.
It'll be a fun one. I mean, it's a very frag-focused map, right? You see a lot of spawn peaks on Chalet. You see a lot of early gunfights. You see a lot of attacker-sided gunfights often, with attackers being able to sit outside the map. Maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Another opportunity for gunfights outside the map. Adam is looking for a spawn peak again. It worked so well the last time, but doesn't find it, so he'll retreat. No harm, no foul. Taking this top floor is going to be the primary objective to start things off for CAG. The connector wall opens up. IT is the important one. If you control IT, then you can deny the plant from up above. It is being held shut at the moment. But of course, they've got Hard Breach up there dealing with it. There are bandit batteries on the wall. It is Adam's job to deal with those bandit batteries. They get cleared out. And the wall is open. Objective 1 complete.
2 MB7s on the board, 4 CL4Ls, so don't be confused if you hear them rattling away. Packer and Uzi will both be holding on to this same gun. You never noticed that it says round 2 on the screen?
It should be rehosted.
It is round 12.
Yes. You can tell by the score.
Yes, I thank you.
6 plus 5.
Also that we've been here for a little bit of time.
Maybe the rounds got longer.
I don't think that happened. Oh, but thank you. I appreciate you.
A lot of the top floor players in CL4L have fallen back. They don't really want to contest like connector or IT or anything. They might still find themselves in gunfights soon here, though.
Nico pushing up. He spies the bandit, expecting a follow-up, but none will come. Black Ray eliminating Uzi. Down goes the Fenrir. Packer will follow. That was the target that Nico wanted. Getting ever closer to the bomb site. CL4L sitting on map point. They have been picked apart by CAG. Last one left is Bino. Right now playing on that storage window, and a flawless 12th round from CAG. Wow.
Great clear through the top floor. Found every single kill. No trades whatsoever from CL4L. Not a lot to that push. They walk in through IT, they walk in through connector, they clear through the top floor. They managed to find a couple of picks. None of them get answered. We didn't quite catch the POV, but Black Ray, some excellent opening couple of picks there. Black Ray, not a common player to see in those opening engagements. Usually it is Shoe Reap who takes the opening fights. Sometimes it is Chibisu. Yesterday, Black Ray took about 19% of their offensive opening engagements. A little bit more active on defense typically, but he can get active when he needs to. Obviously, one of those guys that has been on this team for a long time. Black Ray so familiar with Cyclops, been to many international events with the team. And he's changed his coffee cup, so he's no longer drinking out of the same cup as me. That's crazy. Kind of messed up. Maybe he heard we were on the same cup and now he's changed. That's kind of rude. We are in the middle of a quick little rehost. Already, most of the players are back in the lobby, so it shouldn't take long.
I'm not pointing fingers, but CAG's always back in the lobby really quick.
It's a bug with the new land.
They are.
Just right here. You're good to go. Yeah, A-host.
Seems like there's a bit of a bug.
Yeah, basically what happens is that when a game gets rehosted, it doesn't count the rounds properly. So if you rehost, it starts that at round 1.
Yeah, so it didn't go to overtime there because it thought it was round 3.
Correct. So I don't know how this is going to work with overtime. That might mean we need to rehost every round. We'll see.
Sure, you can set up the lobby in such a way where you swap every round. That's definitely a setting you can run. I don't know. We'll find out. I assume that we should be good for the next 3, but no promises, of course. should be jumping into it any second now.
It says round 13 on the screen, so maybe it's okay.
He's by himself.
Massive.
Yes. All right, it works. Perfect.
All right. As we load into overtime between these two teams, it is once again do or die from CL4L. If they lose this map, they will be eliminated from the Montreal Major. If they win it, then we're headed to Chalet for the third map of this series, Cyclops. The opposite is true, of course. The winner of the series overall faces Chiefs later today for the final spot in Phase 2. That is a do-or-die game as well, where the loser goes home. Slightly more SI points, slightly bigger prize pool if you go out in the next BO3 versus this BO3, I believe. Actually, I think SI points are the same. Won't really matter. CL4L are unlikely to make SI off points. CAG might be more of a bubble team. I don't think they'd be making it if they get eliminated this early either, but I'm not the person to ask for that. There are better statisticians than I, keeping track of all of that.
SI points are a black hole for me.
Okay.
Because the criteria has changed a bunch.
It has.
I'm also not a numbers guy.
No.
You are the numbers guy. I am the talk about what's happening guy.
I'm relatively aware of the SI situation. I would
you're
say
good.
It's going to be a lot more relevant when we get into like Phase 2 and Phase 3.
Yes.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Right now, if you go out in this point of the tournament, you're not going to be breaking any barriers.
There's a spawn peak, by the way, because Chibisu was just dropped.
Oh.
Had to use an adrenal surge to get back up. I'm assuming Adam was the culprit. That's right now who the spectators are leading us to believe might have done this. Chibisu bucking underneath Bino, and he's in a rough spot.
He sees the...
Manages to get out of there. Oh, almost get out of there with his life intact. Uzi and Giddy both working towards that kill. Giddy credited with it. It's 1 minute off of the clock. Another adrenal surge will go out. Chibisu inching ever closer back to full HP. Still a ways to go until he's fully healed. That last adrenal surge will get him close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, they say.
Can they get the second wall open? They want to have the connector wall open quickly here. They do have the utility for it, but it's a matter of putting it on the wall. They don't really have the space for it just yet. Chibisu is trying to play aggressive. Uzi, what an angle. Doesn't result in a kill. Takes a bit of damage from it too. The nitro cell popped. Can he actually get a kill off of it? Puts it back, rips it again. There it goes. One big kill on a Chibisu. That's a two-man advantage now. It was almost more than that. Blackray answers back. He wants to reinforce this and get back to his team, but he realizes it's too risky. So he falls back to the other side instead, keeps his life alive.
We'll tussle with the blitz inside of Electrical. Anton had a big round before when he was playing on Ash, but now less firepower on the shield operator, but a bit more ability to deflect away your opponent's bullets. That's always quite nice. Uzi, the only player on CL4L who's been wounded, and well, Anton walks right in, gets rid of the remainder of it. Adam dies, Giddy follows as well. CL4L down to just Packer. He sees the shield, tries for it, decides Shurip's the target, and loses that duel as well. CAG, one round away from advancing to their next match, safe, at least for a short time, from elimination.
Death, Taxes, and Shurip screaming at the enemy anytime he has a good round. These are the three guarantees in life. An excellent round right when they need it most. The first round of overtime, Shurip, that did not look like a great push for them, to be honest. They were inside a connector. It felt like CL4L had a perfect read on that push. They were able to keep a two-man advantage going. But inside the site, Shurip just turned it on. He found three massive picks clearing through that bomb site. Took them all with him, and sometimes that is what it comes down to. Rainbow Six Siege, end of the day, it's an FPS game, and even if all the early signs point towards the defenders winning that round, it was CAG on the attack that walked away with it. CL4L, just one round away from elimination. They need to win back-to-back rounds and the third map if they want to move on to the next game that they'll be playing. It is a tall mountain ahead of them, but the first two steps are the most important. This round and the next, they move to attack, which has not been their best side in this game. and they will need to attack the top floor, which is being held by CAG. Anaton on the Clash. Popular on this bomb site. I don't believe we've seen it today. Maybe my memory is wrong. Often countered by a buck down below. That'll likely be Giddy's job as we move farther towards this round. Nobody on the side of CAG are playing on the main floor, so the buck should have relatively free reign down to the bottom floor. That's why he's drilling this now.
You ever notice that Giddy kind of looks a little bit like Nade Shot?
I can see it, yeah. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that'll convince Nade Shot to pick him up.
CL4L to 100 Thieves confirmed. You heard it here first, folks. Jesse just leaking the script for everybody.
I will say it's a little late. If you're going to pick them up, I feel like before the tournament would have been...
Maybe not what could be their final round at the tournament.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I've seen enough. Let's pick them up. What do you mean they lost? What do you mean?
They'll be back for SI quals.
Oh, no, no, no. This is not the way you want what could be the final round for CL4L. Shiraniko dies at a weird angle to Giddy that he wasn't expecting, but not before Packer is removed from the round. That's the shield down. That's a big loss for CL4L, especially given that Anaton is on a shield himself. The Clash will be a major nuisance. Don't really have a lot of tools to deal with this Clash if you look at what CL4L has in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean, the buck down below has got to be the main thing, right? But with Anaton playing top of Aqua Stairs, he's going to be in no way, shape, or form going to be exposing himself to those bucks. So they've got to find another answer. Diffuse Kit over in Rafters often can be difficult to plant from this position. They've got Kiba barriers, barbed wire on top of this as well. They need to make this push work. It is going to be a low time execute in the 4v4 with Adam inside of Rafters. No good plant spot from this situation, and they don't have Aqua Control, and they don't have Giddy.
And that's Shureep going down below to take care of the buck himself and still play down there because there's a Nitro Cell in pocket for Shureep. And up it will go, but nobody in a country mile from that explosion. Adam keeping numbers even as now Black Ray falters. He gets the kill, starts to plant the diffuser. Bino and Uzi now to watch over top of them. Damage being done to Bino. Diffuser goes down, and now these teams will be in a post plant with 3 players each. Chibisu far enough back. Down goes Uzi. The shield of Anaton still up, and will try to guide these 2 remaining players of CL4L into harm's way. Nitro Cell goes off, and the last one, Bino, is dropped. It was a Cinderella story. But CAG, watch as the clock strikes midnight on CL4L. The second team to be eliminated here at the Montreal Major is the North American LCQ winners, Challenger League for life.
And for only the 4th time in their history, CAG will get a win over a North American squad. And what an important one it was. You got to feel for the guys on CL for Life, of course. A good experience for them, all of them. Their first LAN event, minus the coach Bodega. They fought well, Frank.
They did.
There were some really good moments in both of the games they played, both yesterday and today. It wasn't enough for a victory. But regardless, I think they're going to look back on this and they should feel proud. Lots still coming up for these guys. I'm sure we'll see a lot of them bouncing in and out of Tier 1. Hopefully more in than out. But we should see all these players continue to play Siege at the highest level once again. They put on a great show. But today, the victory goes to CAG.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with CAG is that even though they still typically end up as this 10th place team, that means you just lost to a 12th to 10th place team in the world. It's not like you lost to some other also ran team. You actually played up against a pretty consistent opponent. Maybe not